Hello. It is episode 14, and I'm here tonight to read chapter 16. Hi, Chandra. I hope you guys have had a good Tuesday. I worked today at my day job, not the writing stuff. And I played Uno with my still 12 for about 3 more weeks, year old. And yesterday I beat him 3 times, and today he beat me 3 times. It was fun. So thank you for joining me all these times. In the description, there is a link to the playlist on YouTube. It's a good way to share it as well. I haven't really been saying at the end, hey, go subscribe to my YouTube channel. But if you want to, that'd be great. And hi, Marta. And by the way, thank you for saying hi while I'm reading too. I mean, before, but also while I'm reading. I do see it, but I try to kind of keep going and stay, in the moment and the character and all of that. So yeah, last night was a shorter night. Tonight is probably going to be kind of a long night because it's a long chapter. And I have no idea how many ways I'm going to feel uncomfortable, but I'm going to do it anyway. And I tried to drink something different today, but Earl Grey tea with molasses. It's weird, but it's good. So, I usually wait about 3 or 4 minutes for people to join in. If anybody has any questions, please do ask. Throughout the narrative, there are times when, in the middle of sort of describing everything, I go into first person, and in those times in the book, it's italics. There are italics throughout that are inner thoughts. The one thing I wanted to say a couple weeks ago, or a couple times ago, was just thank you for rolling with my, I'm trying to learn, how to read it and how to do this, because I haven't tried yet. I haven't made the audiobook. I haven't done that. And so this has been an interesting experiment. Like, how do I indicate that it's inner thought? How do I indicate that it's a journal entry or from the current time? Which, again, there are parentheses. I will say parentheses, and then it says, that's from current times. So, I'm just going to pull my tea bag out and go for today. Okay. I'm feeling like weird. It's weird looking at yourself on camera there. Just kidding. All right. So, for the record, we are reading The Oat Project, How I Faced My Fear and Came of Age in One Wild Summer, in which I did 25 wild things that I had never done before at the age of 37 with 3 kids and a then husband, and amidst a lot of depression and panic and fear. So let's do this. Okay. Chapter 16. Just want to make it ready. Okay. Cheers. Hope you're relaxing. All right. 311 rocks. Journal. I feel like the edge of a Gotta settle into it. Okay. I feel like the edge of a favorite sweater at the end of winter. Unraveling. Help. Okay. Are you sure you don't want to go see 311 with us? I asked Jack. It's going to be so much fun, and I have time to find a sitter. I'm sure, he said. Why not? He smiled. I'd rather listen to it on the computer. And besides, I don't like 311. Do you want to go to any shows with me, like at the Black Sheep or Rico's? Ever? I don't really like loud music, he said. Well, I don't have to go to a loud rock show, but it's loud even if it's not rock. Okay, I said. Inner thought, oh well. Parentheses. Even after being married for almost 10 years, Jack didn't understand that all I wanted to do was connect with him more deeply, to do new things with him, to grow and change together. I'm not saying he alone was culpable. With 9 years of experience and growth, I see how clueless I was, how there were better ways to address our differences. But I was acting from inside the box I eventually shed. I was blind, and the shedding changed me. Journal. The difference between being with my friends, especially the newer ones, and being with Jack or older friends is unsettling. It feels like, and maybe I'm wrong in perceiving this, the older friends can't help but see me as I have always been. So much that they're unable to see the light pouring out of me, the cracks letting it out. It feels as though they want to plug up the cracks and fix me. Not Jack so much, but he seems blasé about it, acting as though he's seen me like this all along, so he can't share in the surprise of me with me. And while that is achingly beautiful and eloquently speaks of his love for me, at the same time, it's frustrating. I want him to share in the surprise with me, and he can't. So I must share that part with others. Parentheses. So from 2016, not 2007, when this all happened. He says that I'm very different now. We were both blind in completely different ways. Excuse me. Missing the music. Before February of that year, I listened to a narrow range of music, mostly gospel with some secular. Santana, Eric Clapton, Gloria Estefan, and other 80s bands. Nothing edgy, nothing from the 90s or later. Parentheses. I read these words, and my heart aches for who I used to be. I am made of music, and always was, and I could not handle real life in it. I needed the screen of happy. I was ill, the depression and panic so deep and close to the surface that a few lines of an honest song could trigger despair and prickling waves of black panic. So I avoided it. My poor, scared self. Both my parents sang in church. My dad's family toured Texas churches as an act. I knew, and this is no joke, I knew 150 songs by the time I was a year and a half, my mom often said. I sang my first solo at 4. Eventually, one of my brothers picked up a guitar and started singing and writing. I had been singing in choirs and on stage for years. After leaving the church when my daughter was born, the most difficult thing to leave was weekly singing. Music saturated my life. Then Owen and I talked music, about new music, indie music. The first song he sent to me via email was Hide and Seek by Imogen Heap. I listened because, despite the fear of more panic, I trusted Owen. I had never heard anything like Hide and Seek, but it broke the dam. New music, real music, dealing with life and hard issues, flooded my spirit with light and especially with dark. Journal. In dreams last night, I drove the car and the brakes went out, but I wasn't afraid. Same dream today, but Jack was there and could not stop it, could not help me. Journal. I'm looking forward to this the most of any task in this journey. I look forward to hearing terrific music, to being with two people I love, to dancing, to hearing music I've been dancing to in my car for months, to cutting loose, to blowing off stress, as 311 puts it. Blowing off stress. Report. I can't believe you just did that. On the morning of the trip to C311, I took the children to Target, school supply lists in hand. Oh, the oceans of energy it takes to get 3 children out of the house before 9 a.m. They say that after having 3, more doesn't matter because of how the third child exponentially increases the chaos. Focus is difficult. Corralling them is an art not always fully achieved. Early to work parents must adapt to it, I was sure, but it was hell if not regular. Do you want some cheese with that wine, Janae? We got most of what Sage needed and were home by 10:30. I had an hour and a half before the sitter came. Kids got to watch a movie while I made lunch so I could cut Leo's food properly, as I was paranoid about choking. I finished, straightened the house, and showered. I picked up Owen and we kicked off the day with lunch at an Indian buffet. How much more perfect a beginning can you find than saag paneer, aloo gobi, and chai? So why 311, Janae? Well, I had no idea who to see. I worried about what must be butter in even the vegetarian dishes, but my vegan friend looked happy across the table. At first, I said, I thought I should get myself into a mosh pit. Thus, a hard rock. It's called metal, right? Band. He grinned, presumably at the thought of me in a mosh pit. And then this young, kind of crazy guy at Woogland said I would love 311, I said. Every time he talked about them, he laughed like he was remembering the best night of his life. Although every other 18 to 22-year-old I've told about it smirks when I tell them I'm seeing 311. I dipped a samosa into the perfect combination of green mint chutney and hot sauce. I still do that. But I realized that the point is to experience the tasks, not to be uncomfortable. It's okay if I just have fun. So no mosh pit, Owen said. No mosh pit, I said. Yet. We picked up Ellery and stopped for snacks and ponchos. Everyone said it always rains at Red Rocks. And finally, we're off. Owen and Ellery were acquainted, but I introduced them again. They'll get along swimmingly. We're going to have fun. It was then I realized I had been holding my breath all through lunch. I had been looking forward to going to a concert, had wanted to hang out more with these friends for so long, but my exhilaration felt brittle, panic overtaking the moment. What am I afraid of? I drove north on I-25 automatically, focusing but trying to participate in their conversation. If I seem off somehow, I'm sorry, I said. They protested. No, really, I said. I'm not in control of my emotions right now. It's weird. Do you want me to drive? Ellery asked. I laughed. No, it won't affect my driving, I said. Emotion never does. I need to pause because this part is super uncomfortable to tell you about. Like, even knowing that you read it in the book and then, you know, like, oh my God, because every time I just can't even believe I did what I did. And, it wasn't illegal. Well, I don't think it was illegal. It wasn't illegal, I don't think. But I mean, I still can't believe I did it. Okay. No, it won't affect my driving, I said. Emotion never does. But it did this time. I usually drive fast and strategically, but suddenly it was like driving through exploded glass. Input turned crystalline. Sounds, sights, even smells pierced and hurt. I seemed to be processing it much more quickly than usual. My reactions amped. As Ellery and Owen talked, I could see the paths of their words before they spoke, and the path of their conversations after the words left their mouths. Out of sync. I am still, always, the outsider. They seemed so blasé about concerts. It irked me, even as I loved them and knew them as though I had known them all my life. I ached for this day and time and music to be perfect. They are so impossibly, effortlessly cool. Maybe that, and the day after writing this, when I wrote the word that, tears overflowed as I sat in the middle of a packed restaurant and I fled to the restroom and wept for the... What? For the futility? This will never change for me. I will never be the one with the ease of knowing a place and its people enough to fully relax like Ellery and Owen. The confidence that seems to come only with roots feels unachievable. Parentheses. I didn't yet know it. This really makes me cry. But I sat writing in the heart of roots that would grow strong and vibrant over the next few years, becoming my tribe. I would eventually be able to relax in my community. But I despaired. Thanks, you guys. Maybe that is why, like a little girl, I commit so immediately to relationships with those I sense as kindred spirits. I can do acquaintance, but if I'm your friend, it is total. People who grew up in the midst of a community, friendships waxing and waning through ups and downs over decades. They know the safe route is to go slowly. But in my world, it always ended. We always moved. Every relationship had ended. Or they would find something wrong with me and ditch me. I knew my flaws. The choice to leave was never mine. Never. It's not logical, I knew. My parents decided to move so often, not me, but I judged myself harshly for not keeping up the friendships I lost over the years. I knew it would end with Owen and Ellery. Parentheses. That summer, when I stopped talking with my friend who sent that judgmental, angry letter, it was the first time in my life I had ever chosen against a friendship. The first time I considered my own needs over a relationship. Usually I hide insecurity well, but I felt fragile, needy, and unable to ignore my panic as I drove north on I-25. They chatted while I struggled. I'm unprepared, feeling pushed forward when I want to stop. But I love these people and hope against hope that these 12 hours we have ahead of us will be a beautiful beginning to friendships that won't end this time. You never know. Can I dance in front of good dancer Owen and mountain girl Ellery? Will they disdain me if I let go so far in dancing as to look stupid or trite or cliched in my moves? And will that disdain, however tiny, root and blossom enough for them to tire of me? I suppose these same fears are present in my relationship with Jack. They lurk in me, surfacing every time he loses it when I've been too cluttered for too long. I wait for it, mostly unconsciously, mostly refusing to think of it, because the logical conclusion of fear is to disengage. Preemptive action, run. And if I refuse to run, I refuse to live any more of my life like that. So instead, it haunts me. Damn it. My mood became painfully apparent when I almost missed an exit. We were in the right lane and hadn't noticed the exit approaching. A car going faster than mine pulled even with us in the exit lane. It was going fast enough that I didn't have time to slow down to make the exit. In an instant, without thinking, my eyes scanned the exit lane to make sure no one was behind him. I braked, pulled into the large triangle in front of the crash barrier between my lane and the exit lane, and half a second after the other car zoomed by, I slid into the exit lane. After 3 seconds, I heard Ellery and Owen exhale. Parentheses. I want to delete this story so much. I still can't believe I did that. Oh my God. I'm thankful I didn't kill us, and yes, they have forgiven me. I'm sorry again. I can't believe you just did that, Ellery said. I'd never have the guts to do that. I glanced back. Her eyes were saucers. Oh dear, I scared her. I shouldn't have done that. I'm so sorry if I scared you. No, she said, not scared, just surprised. Owen said nothing. I didn't even think about it, I said. I am so sorry. Crud. Now I've alienated them. My analytical grip of moment to moment whipped away in the warm summer wind blowing in the windows. So unlike me. Who am I becoming? Parentheses. Later, when I apologized to Owen for scaring him, he said, I always feel safe with you driving, even then. Sneaky, snaking line. Brick red rocks framed the sky as we ascended the hills surrounding Red Rocks Amphitheater. I had to go to the bathroom so much, I was almost hobbling. I have an iron bladder from moving so much with a dad who would not stop for Jesus. Maybe if Jesus had had to pee really badly, he might have stopped, but he would have preached him a sermon. And would he have made Jesus go on the side of the road in between two doors, wind whipping pee all over him to teach him a lesson? Porta potties flanked the parking lot entrance. Phew, but crap, I detest them. Messy, stinky, listing to the side. I get vertigo in them every time. I tried to hold it until we got to the visitor center, but my bladder won. Lo and behold, it was clean, didn't stink, and the seat was pristine thanks to the separate urinal and certainly early hour. It did tilt. And when I sat down, I closed my eyes to avoid dizziness. Glad there aren't cameras in these things. My eyes popped open. The view from the Red Rocks parking lot was better than most people have ever seen, so we lingered, eventually heading up a winding path overlooking a valley. What have I been thinking all these years? I love hiking. This feeds my soul. Why haven't I done it more? Jack hates it, but I could have gone with friends. I live in Colorado, for crying out loud. I want to forget the concert and hike. We could see only about 20 feet up or down the path, no way to tell how long the line. Down the hill, a middle-aged man and woman were dressed in overalls. Next to us, a guy and girl glued themselves to each other, his slicked back dark hair and mirrored sunglasses merging with her tanned skin, shellacked makeup, coiffed hair, and pedicured toenails in high-heeled sandals. I looked down at my feet. My toes would have loved to be free, but so many Red Rocks veterans had told me to wear boots. Damn. The running O. As we three sensitive souls soaked in the beauty, we spoke of makeup, art, and the holiness of spaces. Suddenly, loud laughter and the sound of flip-flops slapping echoed up the path. The line parted in front of us as a girl ran down, yelling, "Yes!" She was all flying, tawny limbs and sun-kissed hair, white teeth shining. A running orgasm. The opposite of me. Free of caring what others think. Fit, fun. Is someone like that inside me, wishing to get out? I don't feel capable of ever looking like her or not caring like her. It felt like a life I would never have died right there on the path as her running, screaming delight faded. My eyes have begun seeing a future sage in every girl between 15 and 22. As we rounded a bend, the valley stretched out to our left, the amphitheater and endless rock below to the right. The coiffed girl turned, holding 3 tiny bottles, and asked, "You want these?" Ellery shook her head no, and I started to, but Owen said, "Sure." Our eyebrows rose as he unscrewed one. "It's free," he said, shrugging, his eyes sparkling. "You're really going to drink that?" I asked. He must feel in need of a drink. Great. That's got to be bad. "It's free," he said, clearly puzzled by my question. Obviously, I do not understand. The familiar gap. Owen downed all but a fourth of the bottle, gagging. "Cough syrup," he said. I wanted to know, so I took the bottle and finished off the centimeter left. Cough syrup. Ick. Ellery's eyebrows crept higher as Owen polished off the other 2, leaving me a quarter of each. They were equally horrible. Parentheses. Do you remember the first time you thought, "What the hell," before you downed alcohol? Were you 15? 22? I was 37. "Are you going to get drunk off of that?" I asked him. Meaning, might I get drunk too? No, he said. Not enough for that. Wow, Ellery said. Near the end of the line, a paper bag full of empty bottles was propped up against the rails on the ground. 4 wee drunky drunks. A very long set of stairs descended before us. Is this a test to see who's drunk already? Uniformed guards inspected bags cursorily. They would not have known I had water in my backpack if I hadn't shown it to them, as the sign said was required. Ingenious, making people drink what they bring before the concert so they have to buy from vendors. We sauntered down the steps, Ellery and I chatting. "You guys aren't in a hurry," the ticket guy at the bottom said, sounding surprised. "We're having fun," I said. "It looks like it," he said, grinning. "Have more in there." He crooked his thumb behind him to the amphitheater. "Thanks." Ellery and Owen let me lead. When it shows, movies, plays, and the symphony, my eyes and body demand I sit smack in the middle. We were about a third of the way to the top, right behind the sound equipment. Great seats. My delight bubbled higher. It was beyond how beautiful everyone said it would be. I'm pausing. Go to Red Rocks if you haven't yet. Stone pillars on either side of the stage reminded me of the statues of the men of Westernesse in the Fellowship of the Ring. Hills beyond glowed golden in twilight. We sat and chatted, taking it all in. The crowd was jollier and more laid back than I expected. Most people had backpacks, food, and blankets. I'll return as often as I can. This is amazing. Who had this vision? Genius. And then I noticed running O girl and her blonde friend seated on the row in front of us. Damn. They were such perfect Colorado girls. From messy buns to toe-ringed bare feet to sun-kissed skin and layered camis and skirts to tight, lush bodies and who cares demeanor. Shit. They were giddy, dancing already. I began to close up into myself. Keep going, Janae. Face it. Admit it. You envy them, and you feel ugly next to them. And why does this matter to you right now? They seemed elemental. The day felt ruined. Owen went to the bathroom, and I said to Ellery, I hate them, not just a little. She got my meaning immediately. It will be better when it gets dark, she said. Everyone will be focused on the band and the music. I inhaled deeply, trying to internalize her words. I was trying so hard to not cry. Okay. Believe her, Janae. Believe her. I tried. I was thankful she understood. Then the blonde girl turned and seemed to recognize me. She looked like Pigtail Girl from the strip club. She smiled at me and nodded her head every time our eyes met throughout the evening. No way. Why is it such a surreal torture if it's her? I ignored her. I tried. Yoga on high. Right there. I'm on edge and mad at those girls for simply existing and mad at myself because I'm mad and frustrated that I care so much, and I'm trying to fake happy and fun, and I can feel my attempt at smiling failing into a grimace, and I don't know how to feel better. I want to do yoga here, I said to Owen and Ellery. I had warned them that in crowds I tend to take off by myself. They seemed content to stay in their seats. How can you be at Red Rocks and not want to go immediately to the top, I thought. I climbed slowly up empty stairs. The view was even more amazing. Heavy, dark clouds rolled in, and the wind blew harder. A staff guy sent me to the back deck to do yoga. I passed a tented bar, meat and cheese vendors, and stopped for hemp ice cream. The vendor was beautiful, and as I sampled the delicious ice cream, I told her I was going to go do sun salutations, and she said she was an instructor. Kindred spirits everywhere. Parentheses. I wonder now how many people I met that night were high. It didn't even occur to me. I wonder if they thought I was high because I smile a lot. No idea. Behind the restrooms, the back deck was about 20 yards long, a uniformed guy leaning against the stone railing smoking. Golden hills glowed, and I looked south as the sun hit miles of hills under a mantle of cloud, beautiful as a postcard. I breathed deeply. I wish I could stay up here. I felt as I always had as a sports photographer in college. Though I knew no one cared to watch me sitting directly under the basket, that they could made me cringe in shyness. Because we were here for me to have this experience, I'd shoved myself into a similar spotlight. Would Owen come find me if I didn't go back? The clouds flung huge, sporadic drops. If I want yoga, it's now or never. I flattened my body against a house-sized boulder separating the patio from a restaurant, stepping forward and reaching my arms high. My hands met as I looked at the roiling sky. Please let me get over this so I can have fun with my friends. I made my hands swan down through the air, bending forward, butt against the rock, an anchor. My head dropped and I relaxed my neck and back. Why can't I be chill like them? I stretched deeper. Why can't I be fine with myself? My head almost touched the ground. I'm going to try. Raindrops splashed in front of me on the brick, hitting my back and bottom. My arms flew up as I reached to the sky. My hands met again, rain hitting my face. I breathed into my belly, closed my eyes, relaxed my shoulders, brought my palms to my sternum in a prayer to whom I didn't know, opened my eyes, and walked away from the rock. I can do this. I need a drink. The storm hit as I went down the stairs. Oh, Ellery and Owen had ponchos on already. Hang on a sec. Okay. I got out mine and discovered what a $1.25 bought. The millimeter thick yellow plastic stuck to my wet skin, and I found the proper holes only with Ellery's help. It rained almost 30 minutes. Long enough to doubt the certainty of the show. When it rained harder or thundered, the crowd went wild, yelling and cheering like it was a battle between the rain and us. How much does it have to rain before they cancel? When it finally stopped, the crowd cheered even louder. I found my bag sitting in a river flowing under our seats. As the opening band played, the equilibrium I'd found in yoga dissipated with the rain. My mood plunged. The Colorado girls' hips swayed in the sunset, effortlessly moving with each other and their guys. Why, oh, why can't I be like that? Let go, not caring who's watching. I wish I didn't care, but I do. I care what Ellery and Owen think. My jaw clenched. The opening band's lead yelled, "This is for all of you who are going to get fucked up tonight." The crowd erupted. Surely not everyone here will get fucked up, but maybe it's hope. I looked at the Colorado girls, and a sick, sad anger burned in my belly. I turned to Owen and said, for the first time in my life, I need a drink. I wanted him to notice the pain in my eyes, hoped for him to ask why, to follow when I left, to help me work through it, but he didn't. As the stadium filled, people crowded the steps around the drink carts, and I stopped for vodka lemonade. Whoa, cute guy. He was scruffy, blonde, older, with very blue eyes, and looked like an off-season skier. Vodka lemonade, I said, please. Vodka lemonade, please, I said. Those words still seemed so foreign. All righty, he said, his eyes twinkled. Your ID, please. Oh, yeah, I said, blushing. I dug it out of my back pocket. He studied it for a few seconds longer than necessary, handed it back, and made my drink. Here you go, he said, handing it to me, grinning more. Is he flirting with me? And here you go, I said, handing him a 20. He started making change. Damn, his flirting and not saying anything about my age is worth every penny. Just give me a 10 back. Thank you, he said. He shot one more smile my way. His attention is ambrosia. I wandered, sipping. The line at the other entrance was packed, at least 5 people wide, all the way out to the parking lot, thousands streaming in. I missed the emptiness, climbed the stairs again, snapped a tourist photo, and turned to see a rainbow between the clouds and the horizon over downtown Denver. Gorgeous. Breathe it in, Janae. Owen and Ellery had their heads together, chatting like old pals when I got back. I smiled. I knew they'd like each other. Modest Yahoo came on. Original, fun, and compelling, he blew us all away. When he sang the Old Testament story of the Israelites' desert wandering, a pillar of fire by night and a pillar of smoke by day, my gut clenched in panic at how close I had come to losing my faith in God. I could see my own history in the context of the religion I had left. Do I still believe? I stood there in the waning sun. I tried to dance and found my body stiff and inept. No reassurance from Ellery and Owen as they focused on Modest Yahoo. All I saw was the Colorado girls, and my heart sank. I need to go to the restroom, I said. Why can't they see the pain in my eyes? Parentheses. I wonder if now, years of friendship later, they noticed. I think so. They were certainly trying not to intrude on my experience and privacy. And I have actually talked to both of them, and they both have said that. Exactly that. I slowly made my way through the standing room only crowd to the bathroom in the visitor center. It was new and clean with shuttered wooden doors. After a minute, a pair of perfectly French manicured feet wearing flip-flops occupied the stall next to me. Flip-flops. They have always, even when I was little, represented to me what I will never attain: cool and pretty. I could never get the super sensitive space between my big toe and the next used to them. And it was the year of the flip-flop. Flip-flops transformed tight layered camis over knee-length skirts into casual perfection and made wide feet like mine look pretty. I looked down at my boots. The toenails next to me seemed to say, "You're not feminine. No matter how hard you try, pretty will never work for you. You'll always look like you're trying too hard." Breathe, Janae. I breathed. I'm okay. Until the stall on my right admitted another pair of feet in hot pink polish wearing, yes, flip-flops. I crumpled, bowing my forehead to my fists and weeping silently. I cried until I ran out of intent more than tears, but my friends waited. I have to get out of this bathroom. I dried my tears, checked my hair and face in the mirror while washing my hands. Mercifully, no girls were primping in the mirror, and left. Face the music, literally. As I climbed the stairs, a boy on the way down slowed, saying, "Hey, baby." I grinned, unable to help myself. Good grief, I am so Mae West. I hoard appreciation like a survivor of the Depression hoards plastic containers. Regard and attraction seem fleeting and insubstantial. Walking down the stairs in the dark, packed amphitheater, the wind bellowed up from below, floating my long hair above my shoulders and around my face, supermodel style. It restored me. I can be at the eye of the storm, even if the storm is me. I couldn't find my friends. Bad thing? Good thing? Finally, as the crowd watched me looking for them, I saw the Colorado girls, and again the blonde stared like we knew each other. Maybe I should go talk to her, but what would I say? I'd get to dance with her, or one of the many guys around her. Boys, if she would have gestured to me, I might. But she didn't. So I didn't. Fuck you, abandon. Hot whiskey. When 311 walked on stage, I went crazy along with everyone else. Great music is always a joy, but being a musician as well adds another level of respect. My body was tuned from listening to them in the car for months, their words becoming an anthem for the summer, pushing and comforting, giving me courage. My mind was still insecure, but once the music started, my body, which had been longing for weeks to dance to this music, took over. I let go. I forgot my friends. Wait, that's not true. I was trying not to be miffed because they would not dance with me. On the trip up, I had told them I wanted to dance with them, and though I knew they wouldn't ignore me on purpose, that was how it felt. So my dancing took on a fuck you abandon. I don't care at all if they're laughing at me. I just moved my body. Owen looked distant, almost disdainful, barely moving his feet. Ellery swayed, closing her eyes. They did not yell or cheer. Ellery clapped, no whooping. They feel very far away. Why aren't they with me? Are concerts such an individual experience, forcing each person into their own private zone? I wish I understood. I had expected it to be more like when Owen and I went to that dud of a local concert, necessarily joined at the hip because of the noise, commenting and observing together. At a break, I dug out a chocolate bar, broke it up inside the wrapper, and offered it to Ellery and Owen. Yum. Someone tapped me on the shoulder. Two clean-cut guys stood in the row above us. The guy who tapped was cute, African-American, and smiling. Do you think I could get a piece of that? He asked. I love sharing, converting people to super dark chocolate. Sure, I said, handing him a piece. You want some too? I asked his friend. Yeah. I gave him one, turned back around, and shared more with Owen and Ellery. We chatted until I felt another tap on my shoulder. Excuse me. The first guy held $1 out. Hey, I'll pay you $1 for another piece of that. That's brilliant, the other guy said. I would never think of bringing chocolate to a show, but it's perfect. You don't need to pay me $1, I said, and handed him another piece. Seriously, he asked. And the will of the wind took my mouth. Dance with me or something later, I said, since my friends won't. Dance? Yeah, I said. Okay, he said. Do I have to take my shirt off too? Oh, no, I said. Dance with me, not for me. He looked disappointed. Oh, okay, he said. You want another one too? I asked his friend. Yeah. We got to talking, and I told them about the project. They didn't believe me, so I showed them the notebook I carried around. I said they would be in the book now and signed my autograph. Cripes. Parentheses. Cripes. I did. How pompous. They were that fake, hang on. Oh yeah. They were that fake kind of impressed we all pretend when we're not sure if we're in the presence of a lying megalomaniac or someone who's for real. They seemed to not believe it was my first rock concert. So, are you married? Guy number 2 said. Yes, I said, with 3 children. Are you kidding me? He looked me up and down. I don't believe you. Enjoy it while you can, dear ego. The walking at 6 every morning is paying off right here, right now. Yes, yes, yes. They're 7, 4, and 1, I said. He cocked his eyebrow, then leaned forward and put his hand on my belly. I let him. Why? I did not know. Why not? Yes, the baby fat still jiggles, I said. I wanted to check, he said. My wife is 8 weeks pregnant with our first. Congratulations, I said. And then the music started again, and I forgot all about them. It was the music and me and no one else. I was happy in the moment, even as I swung from joy to disappointment and back. As the music sank in, my mood lightened. Smoke wafted through the air, occasionally cleared by a strong wind. That smell? I yelled in Owen's ear. Ganja, he said, looking carefully at my face. Marijuana? I said. Yes, he said. I looked away from the stage long enough for my eyes to adjust to the dark and noticed a clear space in front of us. 3 guys hunched over something with clouds of smoke billowing up. Are we in front of Marijuana Central? Are there more of these? The seats were too full and the darkness too complete to tell. Could I be high from this? Surely not. This is for now, parentheses. Now it's legal in Colorado. It wasn't back then. So it's kind of nostalgic reading this. 311 said goodnight and no one moved. They encored, finally singing Creature, and I danced, as my body had wanted to in my car all those weeks, with abandon. We got lost in Denver looking for a place to eat pancakes and pie. It was entirely my fault. We talked, and I don't remember what we said. All I recall is that my angst had evaporated in the music, and I got home early in the morning, happy. Journal. When I'm driving, I still need 311. I'm tired, cranky, resisting finishing, and doing the final, somewhat riskier tasks. But I look back and see that I've made it through so much. I mean, I got my nose pierced 3 times, for crying out loud. If I did that, I can skinny dip and get truly smashingly drunk. I can do this. Thank you, 311. You give me courage and a kick in the ass. Journal. My lips are chapped from red rocks. They tingle like the magic sank into the tender flesh of my mouth, found the vulnerable spot, turned them red like the rocks, then became a part of me. Chapped, raw. Journal. I talked with a friend about breaking down at Red Rocks, under the weight, the mass of the rocks, and before that whole day. Your personality is breaking down, he said. Yes, cracking open is how I feel. Journal. I have always loved the edges of brownies, pie, and casseroles, the crusty part. And now I like the edges of me. So that's the end. It didn't take as long as I thought. I have to tell you a funny thing. So my children, for Christmas, I got a present from my kids. And it's really funny because it's like simultaneously so sweet and so attentive. But then it's also like, it's like how when you remember one thing but you don't remember the other. I haven't really been cooking a whole lot lately. And they got me this this pan that is all edges, like it's this S, so it's a brownie pan, so you can have all the edges. I'll make brownies this week and I'll show you with that part. So tomorrow is called Hair of the Bill, and it is about, I'll probably read 2 chapters tomorrow. I'm just looking. I can't, I'm pretty sure this is about the, yeah, this is about my attempt at getting drunk the first time. And then the next chapter is about going naked hot springing. So we'll probably get through 2 chapters tomorrow night. Um, thank you. Thank you for being with me when I just kind of broke down yesterday. It was a rough day and it was intense that time. Do follow the link in the description and to find the full playlist on YouTube. It's the Church of Wild. It's kind of my next thing, which you'll be hearing more about soonish after this. And I just hope that you can dance with some abandon in the next 24 hours. Maybe we shall all, I hope you will join me in that. I will do so if you will join me. Okay? Thank you. Take care of yourselves. Bye. You too.